Next on Worcester News Tonight, dangerously cold temperatures tonight. Experts weigh in on how you can prevent a potentially life-threatening situation. Plus, the Patriots are Super Bowl bound. A local business is making championship merchandise for fans. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Sunday's winter storm dumped several inches of snow across central Massachusetts. Many also saw extended periods of sleet and freezing rain. Tonight, public safety officials are warning people about some hidden dangers in the storm's aftermath. Our Cam Jandro is out braving the low temperatures in Worcester tonight. Cam, how you doing out there?
Anna, it's cold and it feels like it's getting colder, and the wind and wind chill really isn't making things much better. Now, snowfall totals varied in central Massachusetts based on the city or town that you were in, but you can see here in Worcester it was enough to get about halfway up this fire hydrant. Combine that with the snow and the ice that also fell this weekend, and you can see for this plastic shovel it's rather hard for it to get through, which is why the fire departments here in central Massachusetts are asking people, when you go out to shovel, make sure you take the extra 5-10 minutes and help take and clean your fire hydrant.
Fire departments are asking for help digging out fire hydrants following Sunday's winter storm.
And granted, this was really our first major snowstorm, but it involved the ice and the sleet and the freezing rain and everything, so it compacted the snow down.
Auburn Lieutenant Stephen Lemaire says hydrants should have no less than 3 to 4 feet of clearance on each side. Lemaire says it's best not to procrastinate when it comes to clearing hydrants.
Like a couple years ago when we had that 105 or 110 inches of snow, we were having a hard time locating the hydrant. So the sooner you can clean them out, the better off it is, not only for us, but for the residents in town.
Many communities like Worcester have sidewalk snow removal ordinances. City residents and business owners must clear and treat sidewalks in front of their property within 10 hours of the storm's end. At Worcester's Flying Rhino, owner Paul Barber was back snowblowing for a second day in a row Monday.
Oh, we got here yesterday and did what we could, but then, plows come by and ruin everything that you do. So you knew you were coming back here to snowblow more. It was like, oh!
The state's emergency management agency is also warning homeowners about the dangers of carbon monoxide poisoning. Known as the silent killer, the gas is colorless and odorless. Lemaire says residents should clear any vents outside of their home and check their cars.
And we try to leave anywhere from 3 to 5 feet of clearance. So if there's snow buildup, clean that out. Make sure the tailpipe's clean, especially if you have little kids sitting in the car waiting for you to clean off your car or do whatever. Because if that tailpipe's not clean, that carbon monoxide is going to enter into the car.
Now, some other things to keep in mind when you're out shoveling, cleaning the sidewalks. Take the extra few minutes and also clean your storm drain. Temperatures could go well above freezing about midway through this week, so you don't want things to flood the neighborhood or the street when things decide to melt when temperatures get above 32 degrees. Another thing to keep in mind, the winter parking ban here in the city of Worcester is still in effect. Live in Worcester tonight, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Another danger, frostbite. It can happen in just minutes in the conditions expected tonight and tomorrow morning. The Worcester Public Schools have announced a 2-hour delay to the start of Tuesday's classes, and there's an effort in Worcester to help people find warmth in this weather, including at the St. John's Food Pantry, who fed and sheltered a big crowd this morning. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
Well, the snow from Sunday's storm isn't going anywhere with these cold temperatures. According to the National Weather Service, it feels like it's negative 24 degrees out here, and doctors say even being outside for just 10 minutes is dangerous. The demand for a warm place to stay is high as temperatures fall. Cold in the single digits Monday, forcing St. John's Food for the Poor to open their doors early.
Right now, we're the only place open in the city. I opened a little early, about 6:45 this morning, and as soon as I turned the lights on, the shelter emptied out, and there was about 50 people.
People who use the services says the pantry keeps the community safe during the extreme cold.
Today they gave me a pair of gloves, which I thought was very, very nice, one of the staff. I enjoy coming here for warmth the nice food they gave me.
That's what we're here for, not only to feed the less fortunate, but, take them in out of the cold.
Record low temperatures overnight also kept area hospitals busy. At UMass Memorial Medical Center, Dr. John Broach says being outside in this weather is dangerous.
Really try to stay inside as much as you can, because it doesn't take being out for more than 10 or 15 minutes before you can really start to get in trouble with frostbite and other cold injuries.
Broach says the most common issue resulting in fatalities is carbon monoxide poisoning with people trying to heat their home. He says the city has already seen many cases this year.
Don't run generators, don't run ovens, don't run things in your house unless you're doing it in a properly ventilated area, never inside. We've seen already a couple of fatal cases in the Worcester area this year of carbon monoxide poisoning, so everybody please be careful this winter season.
Broach says if you have to be outside, it's important to layer, and if you start shivering, you should head inside immediately. In downtown Worcester, Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
The flu virus is nearing its peak for the season, and a doctor at UMass Memorial Medical Center says numbers have increased in Worcester this past week. According to the Centers for Disease Control, the flu is widespread in Massachusetts. Dr. Jennifer Daly is a clinical chief of infectious diseases. She says this year's numbers are looking slightly worse than last year, making this one of the most difficult flu seasons in recent history. Daly says this past week, the hospital has seen confirmed cases of the flu every day.
Accelerating, and either we just hit it or we're going to hit it soon. It just depends how big the epidemic is this year. The flu's serious for everybody. One of the problems is you get super infection with bacteria. We know that people under stress can die of the flu. We know that older people die of influenza.
Dr. Daly says it isn't too late to get the flu vaccine, and she says this year it is very effective. Schools in the Blackstone Valley will be getting new technology and expanding programs thanks to a grant from the Baker-Polito administration. The Blackstone Valley Education Hub provides a learning space for students unable to get into vocational schools. Jeannie Hebert says they're currently working with 2 satellite campuses at Uxbridge and Northbridge High Schools, and say they plan to use the $125,000 grant towards workforce training. It will allow them to purchase more equipment fitting in with the curriculum they've developed.
Equipment such as virtual welders. Many of our manufacturers need trained welders, and a lot of remote equipment so that students can work on site, but they can also work from their schools with the students that are on site.
The Baker-Polito administration awarded nearly $3.3 million in skills capital grants to 31 high schools and educational institutions. Temperatures are dropping in Massachusetts, and the good news for drivers is so are gas prices. According to AAA Northeast, gas prices are down 3 cents this week and now already 12 cents lower than at the start of the year. A survey of prices in Massachusetts finds self-serve regular unleaded gas averaging $2.41. AAA's Mary McGuire says if the demand remains seasonably low amid continued growth in gasoline stocks across the country, we could see prices remain low for the rest of the winter. The Patriots are back home after winning the AFC Championship game. What a heart attack for most fans. The team is now turning their attention to the Rams. This is the team's 3rd straight trip to the Super Bowl and Tom Brady's 9th overall. But as Monica Medea reports, the players are pumped for this one.
Go Boston, City of Champions, Title Town.
The Patriots back home in New England after winning their 3rd straight AFC Championship.
Hello, Super Bowl.
I was probably as excited as I've been in a long time.
Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski celebrating the W over the Kansas City Chiefs in this Instagram video, the quarterback acknowledging the doubters out there.
I think we've overcome a lot this year. Down but not out.
Brady was ultimately unstoppable, taking his team 75 yards to the end zone in overtime to win.
You're always comfortable with Tom going down on those drives. He's always prepared.
No one I would rather have in a 2-minute drive than number 12, and he just proved it again.
The action left fans on the edge of their seats.
Nerve-wracking, I'll tell you. My heart was beating the last 5 minutes of the game. It was just, come on, come on.
Not surprised, not surprised that they came back.
Now the Pats have another chance to earn a 6th Super Bowl ring. They face the Los Angeles Rams in Super Bowl 53. It will be a rematch of the 2002 Super Bowl. Back then, the Patriots beat the St. Louis Rams, then dubbed the greatest show on turf. That win was the start of what would become an unbelievable run with Brady and Coach Bill Belichick at the helm. But don't talk to him about that.
Happy for our team, happy for our coaching staff, our players, and the entire organization for what we accomplished tonight. And we'll start getting ready for the Rams. I don't know about a historical comparison. I'll leave that to the experts here.
Monica Medea, Worcester News Tonight.
As you can imagine, it was a busy 12 hours for New Tech Design Group in West Boylston. Crews came in around 10:30 Sunday night and started printing shirts for Patriots fans with the words AFC Champions on it. New Tech says they plan to print at least 10,000 shirts for stores like Dick's Sporting Goods. And while they had to come out late last night, they say it was all worth it.
Actually, it was so cold that I was really betwixt and between about getting out of a warm house and jumping in the car and doing this all night, but it's definitely worth it.
New Tech says they'll be printing more shirts if the Patriots win the Super Bowl. The government shutdown is now in its 31st day. The country's political divide was addressed at this year's annual Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast in Worcester. But the keynote speaker and Congressman Jim McGovern agreed something needs to change. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
Hundreds gather in song and prayer for the 34th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Community Breakfast. The event at Quinsigamond Community College attracts elected officials and community members to honor Dr. King's legacy and inspire people to continue his life's work.
The fight is not over. It did not end with the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act and the Fair Housing Act.
President of Clinton College in South Carolina, Reverend Dr. Lester McCorn, gave the keynote address. The Worcester native told attendees the civil rights movement and fight for equality are far from over.
Hopefully people will be inspired and motivated to do even more to make America a really great country.
The event highlighted progress being made in Worcester. Mayor Joseph Petty says the city is working to diversify the workplace and make everyone feel welcome.
If the city succeeds and it doesn't bring anybody up with it, at the end of the day, what are you going to have? So it's important that everybody who lives here feels included, feels like they have an opportunity to succeed.
This year, Martin Luther King Day comes during the longest partial government shutdown in history. A shutdown Congressman Jim McGovern says is over a border wall he calls racist and dividing. He worries the country is sliding backwards when it comes to race relations.
We need to have a conversation on border security, but we need to move away from all this coded language and coded policy that really is designed to divide our country.
McCorn says the current political climate includes hostility and resentment. He says there's more work to be done to accomplish King's dream.
In these times that we're living in, where there are those that would seek to divide us, there's still opportunities like this to bring us together.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.